Hi, this is Alyx Jones at The Sound Architect, and we're here with Charlie Brooker. What's your all-time favourite video game soundtrack?
Ooh, favourite video game soundtrack? That's a good question. Well, I was on Desert Island Discs, and I chose the soundtrack or the menu music to RoboCop on the Game Boy, composed by Jonathan Dunn.
That's cool.
Perfect. It's haunting. Much better than it had to be.
Nice. How do you feel game music has changed since the arcade days, and how do you think it would change again in the future?
Well, in the early, I'm really ancient, and so I'm old enough to remember like Space Invaders, which wasn't really music, but it was musical, and that it had
consider it music.
It's kind of like Jaws, you know. So, and I really liked the minimalism of like those early game soundtracks, and I had a ZX Spectrum which had a rubbish sound chip, the original ZX Spectrum, but I quite enjoyed what they managed to wring out of that. These days obviously it's full orchestral scores, and so in a strange way it's more backgrounded, but you probably feel it more. It's probably more emotive than it was, but it's less present in an electronic sense. So as for what the future brings, don't ask me. I don't fucking know.
You seem to predict it a lot.
Not now, I don't. I mean, well, I can predict some. I can only predict horrible things.
Oh, okay. What's the horrible future for video game music?
It'll get stuck in your face and it'll sting.
How important was music and sound design in the creation of Bandersnatch, considering
very.
It was a long experience and a lot of repetition?
Very. And Brian, who's the composer, he did, in fact, depending on which path you take through, we were trying a lot of different things out. Depending on what path you take through, there's very similar scenes that are scored slightly differently as well. So there was a lot of different. There's a section where you get to choose an album, and depending on which album you choose, the montage is cut slightly differently.
We did that one.
That. So I hope you chose Tangerine Dream if you played it, because that was my favourite. Well, the other one was going to be Kraftwerk at one point, and they wouldn't give us clearance.
Let down.
Yeah.
Well, they've missed out.
Oh well, that's what I said to them.
So the secret ending in Bandersnatch, where you can record the audio at the end of the credits and load a QR code, blah, blah, blah. How did you conceive of this, and why was it important to use the audio for the kind of way to get through to the next bit?
Well, I just thought it would be fun to put a Spectrum game in there. And we weren't sure. Also, it was technically, it was all we knew we had to do was if we created a bit of Spectrum code that would generate a QR code, we could put anything we wanted on that website. So it was sort of useful to us. We just had to leave a blank space that we put on the last minute in the dub. It was. What was weird was we thought people wouldn't find that for like about 5 weeks. And people found it within about 5 hours.
That's amazing, though.
That's the bloody hive mind for you, isn't it?
Cool. That's all I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you.